Congratulations. How does that feel? I mean, it's been a crazy night of fights already.
Thanks. I mean, it feels nice to finally knock somebody out standing and not TKO finishes.
So when you're backstage, are you guys watching the fights? Are you seeing like all of these finishes beforehand and going out there kind of like pumped, like this is what I want to do too?
Yeah, I see the fights, but it's like I'm seeing it, but not processing it because I'm in my own mind about my own fight. So it's like my mind goes into autopilot. But if it's something crazy, yeah, I'd be like, oh.
So how do you think yours compare? Do you think you're a contender for that bonus?
I mean, I hope I get that bonus. You mean nice little left hand to a big man backflip, you know?
So just, your performance, was there anything about your opponent that surprised you? I know it sounded like you had a little bit of backstory with him.
I mean, there's nothing that surprising. It's not I guess everybody has to go about a fight differently. Sometimes I take things personal. Like, I don't sit there and talk shit about my opponents. I don't sit there and talk shit behind their back. I mean, I never had a problem with him. I always helped him. He reached out to me a couple times about weight cutting. So we should train together and things like that. I have no problems with the guy. But then I started seeing people screenshotting stuff, sending me things, and it was like, damn. Like, I'm over here chilling. Like, business in the cage is cool, but outside the cage, we're outside the cage right now. Just saying they're gonna walk through me. They're gonna put me to sleep. I'm food. I'm an easy fight. I'm gonna get knocked out. I don't got no hands. People don't realize, like, I said it in my first interview in Abu Dhabi. I don't like hurting people. If a person's telling you they don't like hurting people, but yet finishing, imagine when I do want to hurt somebody. So it's like the pick and choose moment. My coach sat down with me and said, listen, you're going to do what you need to do. Don't worry about what's going to happen inside the cage. He's in there to hurt you just like you're in there to hurt him. Do what you do. Hurt him. Went out there and got the finish.
Does it make it a little bit easier with all that backstory, going in there and fighting somebody like that maybe you might have liked at some point? I'm not saying you don't like him now, but going in and having a little bit of personal backstory with somebody.
I mean, I don't dislike him. Like, it just bothers me that it was New England versus New England, two of us from the same area. So I don't know what kind of fire I just started. I don't know what kind of fire I just fueled, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's business in the cage. I went in there. The better man won tonight. And that's just that.
So if he reaches out and asks to train or asks for advice, will you still give him advice? Do you still want to train, or is it kind of severed at this point?
A lot of people haven't seen most of my fights. I fought Jorgen in reality fighting. I fought him for the belt. I had one. This man talks to me all the time. We reach out to each other. We even set up fighting each other for a Muay Thai bout that he won after. So at the end of the day, I hold no bad blood with anybody. This is the fight business. In the cage, yeah, I'm going to hold bad blood. Outside the cage, we're cool. We're human. We all have families. We all want to be healthy. We all want to go back home with a smile on our face.
So when do you want to get back in there?
Like, as soon as possible, really. But they said I have like a mandatory layoff. So whenever.
And do you have an opponent in mind?
I mean, I was supposed to fight a man named Alonzo Menenfield twice. He just fought like a week or two ago. I mean, if that fight is still offered to me, I'm going to take it.
Thank you.
Hey, man, just one more quickly. You're saying that people send you these screenshots and people send you this sort of stuff. Do you appreciate it? Do you take it as motivation, or would you rather your friends and family actually left you alone and didn't put this stuff in front of you?
That's just the crazy part. It's not friends and family. It's just random people, sending it saying, oh, you're going to get your ass whooped. You're about to lose. You're about to get knocked out. You're easy fight. You're just all muscle, no gas tank. My guy's going to whip your ass. Fabio's going to knock you out. I'm like, okay.
I'm afraid to say the higher ranked you'll get, the more that's going to be a problem for you. When was the first time you pulled off the backflip?
Reality fighting. No, actually, Premier FC.
Did you know you could do it, or you just had the adrenaline? You went, I'm going back?
No, I practice it. I practice it inside the gym when I got to my coach. When I felt the mats, I'm like, hey, I could do some flips. I could practice some flips. Stuck it, and I'm like, I'll just do it anytime after a fight if there's enough space and if there's the opportunity.
Is it true that you once repped 225 pounds 47 times?
Yes, I have that video, actually. I need to post it, but I don't want to scare people away. There's some crazy things I've done in the weight room.
Yeah. I mean, I could probably do that if I tried. I just haven't tried that yet, you know.
So you mentioned the New England thing. Did you guys were both on the regional scene together. Did you guys both partake in the same promotion at some time? I thought I heard somewhere that you guys were maybe fighting for the same organization at one time, or maybe some promotion.
CES. So this is the backstory on that. For CES, my opponent pulled out. The same day his opponent pulled out. So they offered the idea of me and him fighting, and it just didn't fall through, and I don't know why. I said, yeah, I'll fight. And then the other side, it was like, nah, because he was practicing or training for another fight. I have no hate for nobody or no dislike. We had a couple times, actually. I think I was supposed to fight him again on CES, and it was offered to me, and I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So, of course, we were going to meet on a local scene, but New England's idea is, why two people from the same region want to fight each other? Why can't we be at the top together? I'm just a fighter. Fighting is fighting. At the end of the day, it's a sport. Me fighting you and you winning, every time you win, that just shows that, oh, dang, I got in the cage with that guy, you know? It's like we both win, so.
And that kind of answers my next question, because I was wondering if this was a guy that you maybe had your eyes on, but it sounds like a couple times you guys thought you were maybe going to fight. And on the flip side, I guess since you guys have sort of been on this journey together in this timeline, is it kind of cool to see two guys from the New England area kind of coming up in their career at the same time and making it into the UFC right around the same time as well?
Yeah, look at Rob Font and Calvin. Like, they're in the same, they're grinding together and getting up there together. They got numbers next to their name. New England and New England. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the fight game, and I understand. I don't feel like this fight was too early. I'm not sad about it, no regrets. It was going to happen sooner or later. But, you know, it is what it is.
And last thing, you know, you got a guy like DC sitting on the outside calling the fight, but admiring, one, the specimen, that the work that you put into your body, but also going out there and putting on fantastic performances. What's it mean to you to hear the Forbin champ giving you praise while calling your fight?
Man, I have a big respect for DC. We both come from the same wrestling background, and we're both the same height. And it's like they underestimate us because, you know, what is this guy doing in light heavyweight? Look, he was a double champ, and I'm on my road to that.
Congrats on the win.
Thanks.
You mentioned that you would have to take a little bit of a break after this fight. Did you have an injury or?
No, I don't have no injury. I know the doctor told me that I may not have nothing now, but as the adrenaline drops, I'm going to feel stuff. Like right now, my shin is starting to be like, oh, shit. But other than that, nothing.
Okay, so nothing from the athletic commission for.
Nah.
Okay, and besides repping 4 plates 47 times, what other great things do you do in the gym? Any other?
I'm pretty athletic. I don't know. If you send me something stupid to do, likely I'm gonna do it, and then I'll record it and send it back.
What's your strength? Leg day, chest day?
Chest day, upper body's my I don't know my limits with upper body. I just kept going until I just felt bored. Like, it's like boring now. I want to do something else.
And then Cormier mentioned it. Your arm was extended when you clipped him. Were you surprised that he went out?
So it's not that I was surprised. It was the fact that when I threw the punch, I was waiting for his counter to take him down, and all I seen was a body fall next to me. So I'm sitting here looking like, who is this? Isn't my opponent like standing there about to throw his counter? And I look and I'm like, oh shit. So I just mounted him and kept going till the ref pulled me off. So it's like my coach says all the time, stop worrying about your power. We know it's there. Use your speed. Use your speed. Counter, use your speed. And that's exactly what I did. I knew the step outside. Once he touched my hand twice, he would step to my outside and throw a fake jab to an overhand. I knew that strike was coming, so I just countered it with the left. I just threw the left, literally threw the left. I'm like, he's sitting on his punches. He's going to swing that hand. And when he threw it, I just threw my left, and then he just dropped.
You think your future opponents will take notice of tonight?
They can take notice, but like I said, every fight I come back a different opponent. My coach does not train me to be the same. He trains me to be different every fight. Win, lose, draw. He doesn't care. His vision for me is far greater than I see myself, and he's opened my eyes to it.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
You mentioned this was the first time that you were happy that it was a standing KO. Is this the first time?
My first standing KO. The other one I had was with Rocky Edwards on CES. It was a 1-2, and then he staggered and fell. But this was a just straight cold. There was no reaction after, nothing. And I had to mount and keep going because I know the ref, they say there's no such thing as a walk-off KO. If your opponent gets up and hits you, then that's on you. So I had to continue with the strikes.
So obviously this was something that's been weighing on your head a little bit. If you got your coaches telling you, stop worrying about your power, stop worrying about your power. Is this the kind of thing that maybe as you're even in training, you would visualize getting the knockout, but when you didn't, do you go back to the training and say, man, why am I not getting this knockout?
It's the confidence in my hand, and the confidence in my hands, and then the worry of hurting people. Like, I have a heart at the end of the day. I want people to go back home. I've seen some things happen to fighters that it's just crazy. So today was an example of not worrying about the two. I went in there as confident as possible. I'm like confident in my hands. My last fight, I went against a 3-rounder with a freaking giant who's a striker. And then I realized, like, I'm finally hitting my coach. That's a person I fear in striking. And I'm finally landing on this guy. I'm like, what would happen if I land on someone I don't know? And I don't have to hear nothing when I come back to the gym next day saying, oh, you hurt me. I don't want to hold pads for you or spar with you right now. So it felt nice.